The second studio album from the American girl group formed on the now defunct American version of the X Factor, Fifth Harmony, much like Meghan Trainor's latest project, fills me with immediate trepidation since everything that they've released in terms of singles have been on the wrong end of the good spectrum. Considering the release of the lead single Work From Home being an atrocious piece of garbage, it didn't put me in good spirits going into this new project. However, whilst Trainor's album confirmed in my mind how horrendous of an artist she is, 727 by Fifth Harmony caught me off guard because it's not as terrible as I was expecting. It's not great, mind you, and Work From Home is easily the worst song on the album, but there were glimmers of light that did show some signs of potential. That's My Girl opens up the album with a sense of righteous female empowerment, an attempt to rally up all the females who have been spurned by some guy to bounce back on their feet and stride forward. Taking into account the double negatives on obvious display, a common trait on this album which never seems to end, which makes the album highly intolerable in most places, I do find the instrumentation rather enjoyable. The thudding bass drum with the continuous horns providing short stabs with the little saxophone pieces, the stuttering drum beat which builds to the chorus all creates a decent opener to the album. It then takes a nosedive with the track Work From Home. Here's the link, enjoy the review. The Life is a song directly meant to appeal to the twin generation, a track about wanting to do nothing but party and drink alcohol all day and all night and not have to worry about anything at all. All backed up by some of the strangest construction of the English language I've seen in a while. The song opens up on a synth keyboard which leads into a heavy synth bass, clicks, claps and a stuttering beat, which on its own is okay, but the constant reappearance of the chipmunk vocals and stuttering delivery of the chorus is highly annoying. Double negatives appear once again on the track Right On Me, using tattooing as a metaphor for whatever dude the ladies seem to be into at this particular time to touch them up wherever he so pleases. Despite sounding like the girls are saying ride on me, so their pronunciation is almost as bad as their use of double negatives, this acoustic guitar led track with synth line, synth bass and drum beat, which has a tropical vibe to it, shows off a more restrained side where the girls are given a bit more room to be vocally expressive, and it's quite a pleasant moment on the album. I Lied is about the ladies telling generic guy number 5000 that their love is real, despite the fact that whenever they've said those three special little words, they were always lying. With the washed out warble opening to the song, there are far too many annoyances here. The hollow synth bass melody, the bleeping electronic effects in the chorus that gets worse as the track progresses. I think there's a piano here, but it's barely audible. Oh, and of course, the double negatives show up again. All in My Head, parenthesis flex, scores back a few points with all 5 girls essentially hitting up on Fetty, all of them wanting him inside of them. The song is pretty much a repetitive track, yet it seems to be one of the very few songs that gets fucked up. That's definitely worth something, right? There's a real summery vibe going on here with the electric guitar, synth bass and drum beat creating a nice little aura, plus Fetty Wap's appearance just brings a smile to my face whenever he shows up. The guy's having fun, and I have fun too. The next track, Squeeze, aims at the more sensual and simplistic angle, with all ladies wishing for generic bloke just to hold them in his arms. Aww. How sweet. The instrumentation is fine, again nothing new. Synths, drum beats, etc. Nothing overtly offensive, it's pretty safe. For the more astute listeners, that's 2 songs without double negatives. Well, don't you worry, because they return on the song Gonna Get Better, where the girls try their hardest to convince their bloke that they're not interested in some minted guy who's got gold and wealth dripping out of his pores, and irrespective of the tough times they go through, the ladies will always stick by their man's side. Hard to believe you ladies when in the verse you say, and I quote, that I'm tempted by kings with the finest of things, but you know that ain't got no truth. Nice use of English there. A nice acoustic guitar opening is quickly thrown aside for the preferred synths, drum beats, and I'm pretty much a broken record by now. The penultimate track, Scared of Happy, sees our ladies more than willing to leave their guys simply because despite their claims of being fearless, they are scared of happy. Right, coming from the same people who have done tracks where they encourage their men to grind on them something chronic. Yeah, I'm not buying it at all. The piano opening cannot detract away from the drowning chipmunk vocals, and the rest of the instrumentation I need not cover. And the final track, Not That Kind of Girls, featuring Missy Elliott, sees our little ladies rebuffing some dudes who are trying their luck with the ladies, but they're not impressed by this guy's flaunting of his wealth and claim that they're not easy. It's a percussion driven song with constant bass drum, electronic blares, and Missy Elliott is thrown in because, well, she doesn't seem to be busy lately. Her inclusion is decent enough, but it's kind of tough to get around the smugness this song exudes. It feels rather petulant and leaves me sneering whenever the chorus comes around. Honestly, I'd be lying if I said that this album was absolute tripe. There are glimpses of a credible group, but the lack of music variation, the lack of any memorable melodies, the poor use of the English language that drowns some tracks really stunts the group from making something that's truly worth embracing. The fact that no one in the group had a hand in any of the songwriting speaks volumes, and if none of them are capable of writing songs, they really need to get a new team in. Still, there are some moments that I do enjoy, but this album isn't anything other than okay, and that's as far as I'm willing to go. Overall, I score this album a 60 out of 100.